Rotorua tonight on City News. We have first comment from the Honourable Todd McClay on his promotion into Cabinet. Bay of Plenty Acting District Commander Tim Anderson says police are very concerned with scamming in Ngongotaha. And the high-tech Rotorua Ekiden Marathon Relay is on this weekend. Rotorua MP, the Honourable Todd McClay, has had a week to come to terms with his promotion to Cabinet. Mr McClay is now responsible as Minister of Revenue, Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, Associate Minister of Foreign Affairs and Associate Minister of Trade. Mr McClay says he's excited by the opportunities the promotion offers in delivering more for the communities of the Rotorua electorate.
Look, I'm really excited, both the confidence the Prime Minister has shown in me, but first and foremost by the ongoing support I receive from the wider Rotorua electorate. So yes, I've been promoted into Cabinet and have retained revenue. I had it as a full portfolio before. I've picked up SOEs, Associate Trade and Associate Foreign Affairs. But I've got to say that first and foremost my responsibility is to the Rotorua electorate, and we're working really hard to make sure that although the workload in Wellington increases, that constituents and my work here at home won't suffer.
And we have the full interview with Todd McClay in Monday night's show. Local police, Age Concern and Neighbourhood Support have called a public meeting in Ngongotaha after a number of elderly residents were targeted in what's been described as a series of scams. Bay of Plenty Acting District Commander Tim Anderson says police are very concerned with what's been happening in Ngongotaha.
Yeah, look, within the elderly and even also the not so elderly, there's a lot of trusting members of the community out there, which is a great thing. But on the flip side, there are a number of scams, whether it be the money schemes through Nigeria over the email or whether it be an approach to your front door. People need to be a little bit suspicious of those sort of things. If they're concerned, ask more questions or just politely say, look, I'm not interested, and close the door. That's the best thing they can do.
And the public meeting to help the elderly being targeted by scammers in Ngongotaha is on Tuesday the 14th at the Barnabas Church Hall. The meeting starts at 10:30 a.m. Later in the show we have more insight into the scammers in Ngongotaha when we talk with Neighbourhood Support's Bruce Quedley. In sport tonight, the Bay of Plenty Steamers have lost their final ITM Cup game of the season, going down to Waikato last night 29-12 in Hamilton. And give a wave of support to competitors in this year's high-tech Rotorua Ekiden Marathon Relay. The 12th edition of New Zealand's only Ekiden is set to circumnavigate Lake Rotorua tomorrow. This year the relay has over 230 teams taking part, which means almost 1,500 runners and walkers, many in amazing fancy dress costumes, negotiating the lake parameter. The Rotorua Ekiden follows the famous marathon course for 42 kilometres, split into 6 achievable legs that vary in distance from 5 to 8 k's. To your weather now, Rotorua. Tonight, fine spells, light winds and overnight a low of 7. And we have a full forecast of this weekend's weather coming up after City News, thanks to Met Service. Still to come in tonight's program, we catch up with local designer and fashionista Carl William Wirepa to find out about his show at last month's New Zealand Fashion Week. We talk with Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust President Sue Winters about the upcoming Pink Walk, and we catch up with Bruce Quedley from Neighbourhood Support. Kia ora everybody, welcome back to City News. Well, I'm with the fashionista of our city at the moment, Carl Wirepa. You would have seen him lately in the news. He's been all over the place. He's been on Māori television, really making a name for himself, and no wonder some of his pieces are spectacular. Kia ora, Carl.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Very good, darling.
Oh, I'm excited to finally be getting to interview you because I've been watching you, what you've been doing. It's amazing. How do you feel?
I just feel cool, you know.
Happy?
Happy, yes, content.
Yes, and must be feeling satisfied that you're getting places.
Yes, well, there's still lots more work to do, so I'll be happy when the second store is open.
So tell me about the first one.
Okay, so we're going to be opening up a first store here in Rotorua during the summer, just a pop-up store, and that is going to be all about nightclub wear, and it's going to be really hot and really, like, on trend.
Nice. Where did you get into fashion? Where did it start for you?
Fashion for me has been something that never started for me. It's something I've always been involved with and always loved. I've always had style, and I've always been infatuated with fabrics and feathers and jewellery. So my whole life I've always been all about fashion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who inspires you?
I'm inspired by celebrity culture, people that are just fabulous themselves. People like Elizabeth Taylor, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Elvis Presley, James Dean, those types of celebrities. I love Johnny Depp. Anyone with a true sense of style and attitude that can command a stage or performance, I love them.
The cool cats.
Yeah, the cool cats.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing here in Rotorua and how you're going to grow.
Well, here in Rotorua, I'm really involved with the community and inspiring our people because, they're so supportive of me, and I'm so grateful for everyone in Rotorua and their support with my dreams of fashion. So in a few months, hopefully in December, we're working with Creative Trust, and we're hoping to be sponsored to have a show here in Rotorua using the youth, so young aspiring models, hair and makeup artists, and we're going to put on a show for the public to display and promote the art of beauty, because it is an art. So we've got lots of exciting things happening here in town.
Yeah, that's neat, and it's so lovely to have watched you. Literally, you've just almost come out of nowhere and you're all over the place at the moment. And you're also jumping in windows, saving little old ladies from burning houses. How did that happen?
I don't know. The other house was on fire because it was right next door to my house where the fire happened. There's these two flats conjoined, and the fire was happening. The neighbours were having a party, and the big fire, and it was all crazy. And then I went outside and saw what was happening, and everyone out on the street was just children and teenagers that were involved with the fire, and I was the only adult there, and the husband had already come out of the house and he was in shock from it all, and the wife, she was still in there, and because I'm the only person on the street she really talks to, talks to our family, so I just thought, oh well, we'll just quickly go and grab her and get her out, because she wasn't coming out. She didn't know what was going on. It was just smoke everywhere, red flames. The whole street was filled up with smoke. You couldn't even see anything. It was really dangerous. She actually would have been knocked out from the smoke before anything else. But thank
scary.
goodness. I know.
So, was it all a get down, get low, all of that kind of thing? Did that come into your mind?
No. It was just in and out, hard and fast.
Yeah.
But, I like a bit of drama.
Just get the job done.
Yes.
And save her and end up in the paper and a local hero.
I know. They just showed up to my house, and they showed up to my house about 2:00 in the afternoon. The paper did. And I was like, who's this knocking on my door? I'm not even dressed for the photos. And then everyone knew about it before I did.
No, well done. I mean, have you talked to her afterwards?
Yes, all the time. Yeah. They're always cool. We ended up getting them a hotel room for 2 nights through the Housing New Zealand. We hustled that for them too, so they didn't have to go back to the house straight away.
Has she given you a cuddle and an intimate moment and said thank you?
Yes, all the time. I've known them for years since I was a child, so they're like family to us anyway. Yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. Tell me a little bit about what your plans are in terms of your own fashion, and where are the trends going with your pieces?
For me, we're just going to go heavier with the fashion and my design, and we want to just push it further, even more into glamour, and just make it more exquisite and more special than what it already is.
Thank you so much. It was really nice having a chat with you. Is there anything you'd like to let people know about things coming up, or where to be, or where to watch for events? How can they keep an eye on what you're doing?
You can follow me online on Facebook. There's my online page where the brand name is Emmanuel Geros Limited, so you can find us on Facebook by going on Facebook and looking for Emmanuel Geros Limited. That's EMMANUELGERROS Limited. Otherwise you can just Google my name and you can find everything.
Yeah, nice.
All the links are there.
Just Google me.
Yeah, Google me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carl. It was lovely to meet you.
Oh, you too, darling.
Okay. Kia ora.
So this October, like all the other Octobers before us, running 7 years consecutive now, is the upcoming Pink Walk. With me today, we have Sue Winters as one of the trustees of that walk. Sue, lovely to see you today. It's a bit gusty outside, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Melanie. But weather's really important in October. We always like to hope for a fine pink walk, not a wet pink walk.
So, this walk has been going for 7 years now. Why was it started?
So the Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust was started to support people, patients, and their families in Rotorua who are affected by breast cancer. And so all of the funding from the Pink Walk stays in Rotorua to benefit those people and their families.
And so in what ways does the Trust support the families?
So for the people who are diagnosed with breast cancer, we heavily subsidise the Pink Pilates program, which is a one-to-one physiotherapy program. Pink Pilates is the old name, it's called Pink now, P-I-N-C. There is a national trust that owns that. However, in order to make it accessible to all people in Rotorua who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, we subsidise at least 6 sessions, but many people have 10 sessions, and those are run from Tēnai Physiotherapy. We also heavily subsidise the YWCA Encore program, which is a water-based rehabilitation program, and that is sponsored by the Polynesian Spa, who donate their facilities to us for that 8-week program, and that's to help people recover with their mobility and their confidence, get back into a swimsuit, and to actually get back into the water and enjoy the water as a form of therapy. But it's also a knowledge building program in terms of lymphedema and self-care.
So let's talk about, you did mention the Polynesian Spa, but you've got quite a wide support network behind the Pink Walk with sponsorships. People just seem to get on board quite well, don't they?
We're completely blown away by the Rotorua community and their generosity. You just have to mention breast cancer and people are giving. Sponsors are giving money or goodwill, and so we have a large collection of sponsors for this Pink Walk, as with others, whether it be major sponsors or whether it be people giving spot prizes, because there's heaps of spot prizes to win, and there are some major prizes as well.
Let's talk about some of them spot prizes, because you know that really does encourage the community to come together. Not only are they there because they're well behind the trust, but they're also there to be a part of the whole day event. And winning prizes is just one of those things. So what kind of things can they win on the day?
So a lot of the spot prizes are vouchers for adventure tourism, or vouchers to have your hair done, or beauty, or to buy something nice for yourself. So they're very well worth having.
And so what is it that the judges are looking for, or is it just random selection?
Oh no, there's 5 major prizes that are key things. So there is the best dressed male, and that's hotly contested. The best dressed female, the best decorated bra. Huge amount of work goes into decorating bras at this time of the year. And there's the best dressed young person, and finally the best dressed team. We have some huge teams entering and looking amazing. So great prizes, and we hope that people really rise to the occasion again, as they always do.
So what day is it this year that the Pink Walk will be held?
So it's always the last Wednesday of October, so it's Wednesday the 29th of October. So there'll be festivities starting sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock onwards, food available if you're coming straight from work, and then 6 o'clock after a Zumba warm-up, 6 o'clock people start walking. And it's just usually a sea of pink. It is very, very moving. You know, it's lots of fun and it's breast cancer awareness, but many of the people who walk each year are walking with someone who in that previous year has been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Keep up the fantastic work, because obviously there was so much there we weren't aware of. Men as well can get breast cancer, and it's not just the lumps you're looking for, is it? There's all sorts of things there.
Any changes at all, and keeping up to date if you're on the screening program, not taking it for granted, actually making sure that you prioritise having that mammogram. But if you're not on the screening program, self-examination and any changes at all that you're aware of, any concerns. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask.
Lovely, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Good news, Rotorua crime is down. Here to talk to us about that is Bruce Quedley, who is the Neighbourhood Support Coordinator for the Rotorua area. Kia ora, Bruce.
Thank you.
Bruce, so crime is down. Talk to us about that.
Yes, crime is down. That it's a combined effort of everyone, the police, the major partner, and the partner agencies like Neighbourhood Support. And that's reduced crime by a great amount across both residential, commercial and retail areas.
Now, are all crimes reported?
No, I don't think they are. Some people see something going on or have something happen to them, and they don't think they want to interrupt the police work because they don't think it's important. But a small crime can lead to bigger crimes. So all crimes should be reported, and I'd encourage everyone to report things, even if they're only minor. The police will make the decision as to whether they investigate it or not.
Actually, that's a really good point to make. So no matter what you see, report it and the police would make that decision.
Yes. If you see something suspicious going on or something happens to you, report it. It can be a minor thing, but minor things lead to big things. For example, a broken window could lead to an invasion of a home or a burglary of a home, and people don't often connect the dots together so that they see the bigger picture.
Because here's an interesting scenario that I'll run past you. I happened to glance at a gentleman intimidating another gentleman. So I quickly swerved to the side of the road. In the event that something could possibly happen, I could get my phone out. But what surprised me was that nothing did eventuate, but the gentleman then walked off and he didn't get on his phone and ring the police himself.
Yes, some people will just put that down to something that's just happened. It may be an isolated incident, but it could also be an aggressive person going around town intimidating people, and the police need to know about it. They can't do anything unless it's reported.
Correct, that's one. Now, so what is the focus? What has been implemented to bring crime down?
Well, the police have a strategy called Prevention First. That's basically trying to prevent crime before it happens. Neighbourhood Support is part of that strategy of setting up groups around Rotorua to ensure that people report crime or report suspicious activity when it occurs. They are also ensure that the security of their homes and residential areas are kept at a high level so that they don't offer opportunity for the opportunists to get in.
On that note, what causes crime? What's the underlying thing that makes people want to commit crime?
Sometimes there is need there, sometimes it's their lifestyle, that they may be drug related, that they need to get things to sell to buy their drugs. The underlying thing is that it's often people's greed, and that if you protect your property as best you can, you put barriers in place to stop them happening.
So let's talk about the Nongataha meeting that's coming up.
Yes.
Who's invited and why are we having this meeting?
Basically, Age Concern were approached by concerned family members who have had, mainly elderly people, been approached, and they're vulnerable. And the word I use for vulnerable is they have a sob story given to them and will respond to that. Their compassion has been not attacked but drawn on, so that they will respond to the story that they're given. And unfortunately, as a result of that, people ask for money and people hand it over. So the meeting that's going to be held at St Barnabas Hall in Nongataha, we don't know how many people are going to arrive. But aged concern are very concerned in regard with the elderly residents, so that they are not abused by these people. But the main thing is that scams can occur to anyone, and people have got to be aware of them and got to be prepared to stand firm and not be pushed into doing things that they normally would not do, giving your money away to people they don't know. But we also need to look at the people who are involved, and they're often the elderly and the lonely, that they may feel isolated from people, they may not have friends, and if somebody comes knocking on their door and offers them friendship, and then that leads on to borrowing money, it's understandable how that can happen. And the unfortunate thing is, the way it often happens isn't illegal. It may be immoral, but unless laws have been broken, it's a decision between two people.
So this really is a focus to protect our elderly. So for those in the community who are interested, what day, what time?
It's 10:30 next Tuesday, the 14th of October at St Barnabas Hall at Nongataha.
Well, thank you very much, Bruce. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Neighbourhood Support's Bruce Quedley talking with Melanie Groves. And the public meeting to help the elderly being targeted by scammers in Rotorua is on Tuesday, the 14th at the Barnabas Church Hall. Meeting starts at 10:30 a.m. If you have news, email news@tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for watching tonight. To see the show again or to catch up on past episodes, visit our website tvrotorua.co.nz. Have a great weekend, Rotorua. For Mario.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.